Hello students, my name is Gaurav Bansal and we're discussing Indian economy through the MCQs. This is a new format of classes or sessions that we have started. In this session, we are going to discuss different subjects through the MCQs, and our objective will not be just to cover the topics. Our objective is to aid you in the process of selection of answers or rejection of different options. It is in this process that we are going to guide you here. We're going to look at different questions and we will discuss that in what manner we had to go around with them, we have to go about. Okay. Now, let us start one by one. Let us look at the question number 1. Which of the following are the instruments of wealth creation according to economic survey? First, equal opportunity for new entrants. First of all, what is instrument of wealth creation? Any policy tool, any change that helps in creation of wealth in the economy. What is creation of wealth? Basically, through which we are able to generate more resource production in the economy. Okay. Means of production should increase. Means of production means that we should have more production capacity. So, with the growth of market, that automatically happens with time. So we want our markets to evolve. We want our markets to become better. And equal opportunity for new entrants is going to improve the market condition. It is going to improve the market. So for example, let us say equal opportunity for new entrants would mean that the old firms, they're always going to be at the toe, because they always will be afraid that if they do not improve, if they do not bring changes or reforms, then someone else would and may replace their business tomorrow. So equal opportunity definitely improves the market conditions. It is a tool for the wealth creation without any doubt. Next is fair competition. It's the same thing in another way. Equal opportunity for new entrants is an aspect of fair competition. That competition is open to all, and old firms, bigger firms do not have any particular big distinctive advantage. They have some advantage of size, they have some advantage of established market size, and let us say the distribution chain would be established. But this is what new companies have to break down with their innovation. So it is this, that the new entrants will try to break down. Ease of doing business, definitely. More and more firms will be able to find it easy to start, okay, existing businesses, how to expand existing businesses, how to start new businesses. All of that will be aspect of it. Then we have more policy interventions in the market, which is also about the government role in the market. Now, whether it improves the market condition or not, that we need to understand. See, when government intervenes too many times, government intervenes too much, then it creates uncertainty. It creates changes wherein private sector will become clueless. If government will change its policy too many times, it will create it will make it difficult for businesses to plan and produce according to that. So government should not make too many policy changes actually, because that reduces the certainty. Reduce certainty. And it's against the businesses. It reduces ease of doing business. Ease of doing business. Okay, so these are the things we got to understand and we need to remember. So, instruments of wealth creation. Over here, 1, 2, and 3 are instruments of wealth creation, whereas 4 is not an instrument of wealth creation. The government intervention is required for stability purposes. Okay, it is generally aimed at stability purposes. Exceptions are always there. It can be there for growth, But too much intervention is never good. Okay, we never want to increase the intervention in a systematic manner. That is not a good idea. So it may be a good strategy for stability, but not a good strategy for wealth creation or growth. So 1, 2, and 3 should be the answers. Next question. According to the recent data on startups released in Economic Survey, consider the following statement. India ranked first in the number of new firms created across the globe. This is incorrect, grossly incorrect, as it is quite visible. Okay, we know India has done very well in the startups. We have produced a lot of new unicorns. Last year alone, we created almost 77 unicorns. Okay? And this year, we are likely to surpass that number also. So, India has done pretty well. That is without doubt. But we are not ranked 1. Okay? And we are ranked 3 at present. So, that is something we need to remember. Second, birth of new firms is homogeneous across Indian districts and across sectors. Birth of new firms is homogeneous across Indian districts and across sectors. This obviously is quite visibly wrong. The new companies, they are in handful of cities. Maximum number of startups in India, they are in Bangalore, followed by Delhi NCR, Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, which are basically 3 adjoining regions. And similarly, other areas would then, after these 2, would be Mumbai. Mumbai has been quite well performer in the startups. Although Mumbai is not an IT hub, but in the field of startups, Mumbai has done pretty well. Then Pune, Hyderabad. So these are the top cities, and they account, these top 5, let us say, account for more than 2/3 of the startups in India, which have become big. It's definitely not homogeneous. Across sectors, definitely not. In the field of agriculture, limited number of startups and unicorns. Whereas in financial technology, etc., so many startups. So that difference is always there. Both are correct. Sorry, incorrect. My bad, sorry. Both are incorrect. Which of the following statement is or are correct? Liberalization of the Indian economy enabled the forces of creative destruction. Okay. What is creative destruction? We need to understand here. Creative destruction is a process in which new replaces old. Okay, and in a positive way. So this concept was given by a great thinker of his time, Joseph Schumpeter, and his book Capitalism, Socialism and Democracy is an excellent read even for UPSC students, provided you have PSIR or let us say sociology as your optional subject. Even economy also. Okay, so Capitalism, Socialism and Democracy is excellent book that actually talked about creative destruction, in which he argued that creative destruction is the major feature of capitalism, where the destruction is creative. The creative destructs the old and inefficient, and the new and efficient then rules. So the destruction is a good thing. Okay, destruction is not because we are not able to survive the old force. Destruction is there because someone new who is fresh, who has new ideas will come and take over. And over time, there will be improvement in efficiency, there will be improvement in technology. So that concept is creative destruction. Liberalization of Indian economy enabled the forces of creative destruction. That is correct. In a way, we created more openness in the market where new can challenge the old, and by doing so, we enabled creative destruction. So this statement is correct. Then we have Sensex has grown at an accelerating pace post market reforms introduced in the 90s. That is not correct, because right from 90s there has been no accelerated growth, as in but let us say, if we leave the scams, actually I think we can consider 90s to 2000 to be a relatively stagnant period. In between there was growth because of the 1994 Harshad Mehta scam. Actually we can choose it to be correct. Okay, it's not an easy option to choose. See, what really has happened in India, or ups and downs are always there. That is actually what we need to remember. See, since the 1990s, if we look at the Sensex growth, then growth is like that. In the beginning, there was very big jump, very big decline, and since then, something like this. The growth is something like this. This is something that we will actually call a constant growth. Okay, ups and downs are always there. There is no market actually where you can have like constant growth. We are just saying accelerating growth. So yes, there has been acceleration from time to time. Okay, in the 1993-1992 period, it was because of the Harshad Mehta's involvement. The stock market gained a lot, a whole lot. But then it had a very big decline also after the scam was found out. Then market slowly increased, but it yet did not recover the Harshad Mehta levels. Then it fell again after the Ketak Parit. So market was here, let us say somewhere, and after that it went up consistently from up to 2000, let us say 8-9. It went roughly, let us say here. Then it went down after 2008, and then it went up. 2013 it fell strongly, then it has gone up consistently. So likewise, we will call it accelerating growth. Okay, small decline in between, or I mean let us say declines in between, doesn't mean that we can accept this. Okay, it is not saying, we are not saying that market has been very consistent and stable. That would have been wrong. Okay, I did not interpret it correctly actually. At an accelerating pace, yes, Sensex has grown at an accelerating pace. So 1 and 2 both are correct here. Fourth, consider the following statement regarding Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. It is an organization, this is a direct factual question. It is an organization which insures deposit in the bank against bank failure. Correct? Okay, we keep our deposits in the bank, and if bank is unable to pay them, then this deposit insurance company will be liable to pay. Okay? And depositors are entitled to receive a maximum insurance of up to 5 lakh per individual. This is also correct. Okay, and the services of DIGC, these are available for commercial banks and those cooperative banks which are registered with RBI, basically the urban cooperative banks and some of the other cooperative banks. Basically only the RBI members can get its facility, and this obviously is set under RBI. This is not set up under SEBI. This is where your option number 3 is wrong. It was a direct factual question. We can just simply look at the point and we can select or not select according to it. So point number 1 is correct, 2 is correct, but 3rd is incorrect because of this one point. It should be RBI. Okay, not Securities and Exchange Board of India. It should be Reserve Bank of India. So we have been asked for incorrect, so answer should be D. 3 only. Question number 5, with reference to relationship between entrepreneurship and GDP, as stated in the economic survey, consider the following statement. Entrepreneurs are seen as agents of change that accelerate innovation in the economy. Okay, entrepreneurship and GDP. first point, there is nothing controversial or nothing challenging about it. This is obviously correct. This is the very aspect of being an entrepreneur, that you accelerate innovation. Okay, if I want to get into a business where already there are hundreds of companies, how I can penetrate? Either I can penetrate if I come with a large amount of money, and with the amount of capital that I bring in, I can do something which is disturbing for existing businesses. Another idea, I bring a technology which others have not yet worked out, and with this technology, I make a big change in the market. Option number two is, on a per capita basis, India has high rates of entrepreneurship in the formal economy compared to informal economy. So when we talk about formal economy, then actually we do not have that too many entrepreneurs. Okay, high rate on it is in the informal economy where we have a high rate of entrepreneurship. Because every year there are so many entrepreneurs who join in the informal economy, in the small informal businesses. In the formal economy, if one really has to start, a lot of funds are required. Okay, so in the field of formal sector, if we really talk about the new entrants, the new businesses, then they are limited compared to the informal sector. In informal sector, more people actually start. Third, peninsular states dominate entry of new firms compared to other parts of the country. That is correct. That is actually correct. Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, these are the top three industrial states in India, followed by Karnataka, Haryana, okay, Andhra Pradesh. So Haryana is a small exception. The rest is all peninsular states, coastal states of India. Okay, and it is these coastal states which are the leaders in startups. I've already discussed in an earlier question that Delhi NCR is an exception. Rest, all the major cities that are there, they're all in peninsular India. So this is correct. Answer should be D, 1 and 3. Question number 6. The recent economic survey suggests promoting pro-business policies to unleash the power of competitive markets to generate wealth, and to wean away the pro-crony policies. In this context, consider the following statement. Pro-crony policies promote preferential treatment to some incumbent firms, making resource allocation efficient in the economy. Pro-crony. Who is crony? Crony are your friends and associates who get benefits of you being in power. If somebody is in power and benefits his or her friends in the process, that is known as the crony capitalism. So, pro-crony policies basically is preferential treatment that generates the rent-seeking behavior, and it does not make the resource allocation efficient. Okay. In the question number 6, the first statement is incorrect because the incumbent firms which get preferential treatment will be leading to inefficient resource allocation. It will never create efficient resource allocation. This is what I was just checking because the answer I was finding that is wrong. So there might be some error regarding the answer, but in this context we should be very clear. We are talking about which of the following options are correct. Okay. So the first statement is incorrect. Pro-crony policies do not make efficient resource allocation. Whereas pro-business policies maximize the citizen welfare. That is correct. Pro-businesses means policies that create more competition, policies that creates more or which opens up the space for everyone, which is ease of doing business. So that will always create more competition, means people will get more choices, people will get better choices, people will get better prices. So as a result, there will be citizen welfare in that. So answer should be B, 2 only. So I think there is some error in the answer. The answer that I was getting was opposite. So that is why I took some time, because I was just checking that how it can be. But anyways, you do not have to bother with the answer. What we are discussing here is correct. What is pro-crony? What is pro-business? Pro-business policies create competition. Okay. If you remember the question number 1, I come back to it. These are pro-business policies: equal opportunity for new entrants, fair competition, ease of doing business. These are all pro-business. None of this is pro-crony. What is pro-crony? Where you reserve industry for someone, where you give someone special benefits. When you give state treatment, or special treatment to someone, when you sell public sector resources to someone at a cheaper price without proper auction, all of that is pro-crony. Next question, question number 7. Consider the following statement on the basis of analysis of debt waiver given by the center and state to the farmers according to the economic survey. Farmer who avail full waiver invest more but are less productive after the waiver when compared to the partial beneficiaries. Debt waivers we are talking about. What are debt waivers? Wherever someone has taken a debt and then those people get the debt waiver, means they do not have to return their loans. Someone else, largely in the case of debt waiver by state pays up on their behalf. Bank recovers the money but not through these people. And generally when someone gets a full waiver, they become ineligible for future loans. And the statement here is arguing the farmer who avail full waiver invest more. That is incorrect. Farmer who avail full waiver, or people who apply for the full waivers, are generally distressed farmers, and such farmers are not able to invest actually. Okay. So here only this statement is incorrect. Debt waivers increase formal credit flow to the farmers automatically. Even this will be a problem, because once you give farmers debt waivers, they become ineligible for future loans for a very long time. Their CIBIL score goes bottom. Okay. In some cases, they are barred from taking loans for next 10 years. So automatically it will actually reduce the credit flow. Banks do not want to give loan to people to whom they have to give waivers later on. Although government will pay to them, but generally government doesn't pay them enough. They never make profit on these. So in this case, answer should be D. Neither 1 or nor 2. Both are incorrect. So this was relatively tougher question, because you need to understand what is the impact of debt waiver. Debt waivers, when they are introduced, they affect the farmer negatively. Debt waivers do not benefit farmer. They do not benefit agriculture. They are not a good policy. Yes, momentarily they give farmers some relief, but in the long run it is not good for them. But farmers who are too much distressed by debt, only for them it is going to be good. Question number 8. Which company was the first in India to move its container on the Indian waterways? Answer is PepsiCo. It is a factual question. We kept one question deliberately actually. I thought not all the questions should be completely conceptual. We should cover one question at least which should be purely factual, where it should come as a surprise in a way, because such questions come in UPSC also and you should be prepared for it. Which company was the first in India Generally, we would think of Shipping Corporation of India or Container Corporation of India by looking at the options, but definitely these are not the ones. It was the PepsiCo. Okay. One of the first company to start moving its products was Imami in Kolkata. Okay, and PepsiCo is the one which started its containers in the inland waterways. So, eighth answer is B, and there is no explanation to it. I just wanted to cover one such question. Question number 9. Dedicated freight corridor. Okay, Western freight corridor, Southern freight corridor, etc. These are there. So, in the freight corridor, the question is there. First, DFC is a high-speed and high-capacity railway corridor dedicated exclusively for freight movement. This is correct. This is quite what the dedicated freight corridor is. There will be 4 railway tracks parallel to each other, and they will be enclosed like metro tracks, so that nobody can do jaywalking and would be crossing these tracks. And since there will be 4 parallel tracks, you do not have to stop trains in order to pass the faster trains like that. You can very quickly move the trains through these, and you can simultaneously run different speed of trains with different speeds across these. So DFC definitely is going to be a high speed, high capacity railway corridor. The Western DFC is partially funded by the World Bank. That is incorrect. Sorry, just one thing here. I just noticed the last point I did not focus. This is sometimes happens to best of us actually. Okay, happens to most of the students when we are in hurry sometimes, or sometimes we just tend to skip a part of the statement. I just focused on high speed, high capacity. I almost forgot this exclusively for freight movement. Okay. So is it exclusively for freight movement? Yes. But I didn't notice the entire statement. This is something you have to be careful about. This is what I wanted to tell you. If it would be like open for freight and passenger movement, it would be a wrong statement, but I didn't talk about it and I directly moved to the second statement. So that is what my mistake was. Okay. So that is something that you have to be careful about. In this case, we didn't make any error, but we skipped one part of the statement. That's something. And it is being partially funded by the World Bank. That is wrong. Third, a special purpose vehicle called Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India has been set up with 100% equity by the Ministry of Railways. Third itself negates the second option actually. Okay. So that is why we do not explain who is funding it, because whosoever is holding 100% equity definitely is controlling the project. In this case, C would be the answer. 1 and 3 only. Now let us look at the next question. Question number 10. Consider the following statement with regard to FDI inflows in the services sector. Majority of FDI equity inflow were in computer software and hardware sector in April-September 2020. Okay, this is correct. But this is changing very quickly. Now FDI is almost equally into manufacturing also. But earlier it was largely in services sector. Second, high growth in FDI inflows was also present in subsectors like retail trading, agriculture services and education. This is also correct, by the way. Retail trading receives a lot of FDI. Agriculture services actually also received decent FDI in this period. And education was one of the top sectors which received a lot of FDI, by the way. This was the period, if you remember, of the first lockdown, April to September 2020. And it is in this period that online education suddenly became too much of a buzzword. And all those new innovation, new technology, all those Zoom app, etc., they suddenly started investing a lot more world over. India also got a lot of investments in education sector. Third and the last option here, FDI into India recorded almost 17% jump over the corresponding period last year. Although such questions do not come, if you see the UPSC questions, such exact percentage thing is not asked. So it's a bit of an outlier. But let's say such thing can be asked that FDI in India received a big jump despite a global slowdown. That statement definitely can be asked. They will not ask you exact 17% thing, but they can ask you over a longer period that India has received FDI at a higher pace. Means we are getting more and more FDI despite the global slowdown, whether it is correct or incorrect. In that case, you have to choose that it is correct. All three are correct in this case. Okay, so that is how you have to choose your options, and you have to be very careful about reading the entire sentence. So I hope this discussion has helped you. Next time we will bring more challenging, more technical questions. This time I kept it around the recent developments, the economic survey, some of the basic fundamental things. Again, next time we will be asking more technical questions regarding the fiscal policy, monetary policy, etc., which we did not touch upon in this particular test. So as we will move ahead, I will pick up more and more interesting question in a certain pattern. And we'll meet soon next week. Thank you.